Hello, this is Deaney. In this tutorial, we'll be making a giant freestanding paper rose. No Cricut or cutting machine needed. We'll use the PDF version of our simple paper rose template and cut the pieces by hand with scissors. Plus, later on, I'll share a handy time-saving technique to speed up the petal cutting process. The materials that we will be needing for our paper rose, of course, will be paper or cardstock. I am using a 65-pound cardstock. For our petals, we will be needing a total of 34 or at least 34 pieces. And for the sepal and the cone cover, we will be needing at least 7 pieces. For this version, we are going to cut by hand, so of course we will be needing a pair of scissors. If you are more comfortable using a box cutter, you can also use that too, but I highly do suggest using a pair of scissors. We will be needing hot glue gun. Prepare a lot of extra hot glue sticks. For the stem, we will be needing coupling and PVC pipes. You won't be needing a cutting machine for this version, but we are going to use our PDF template from our Simple Paper Rose template, which is available in our website, and you can find the link in the description down below. And as I have mentioned, you will not be needing a cutting machine, however, you will be needing a printer. So I have mentioned a quick and efficient way of doing the cutting. And here's the trick. You print the template directly to the paper. I've seen a lot of other makers print the template and then cut the template from the paper or the cardstock and then trace it again. That's a bit counterproductive, and you will be spending time retracing them. So I just suggest printing the template directly to the cardstock. And here's the trick. You don't have to print in every paper or in each paper. So what I usually do, I usually cut by 4s. So let us sample this one. So this is petal 3. This is my first cardstock or paper, and I will be getting 3 more, and then let us just cut it this. And I have discussed this in one video, but often I'm asked, is it easier to cut by hand or use a cutting machine? Because some people assume that cutting with a machine will always be easier. For templates like this, which, are bigger and has a very simple shape, it's actually, in my opinion, easier to cut by hand because you can do it multiple sheets at a time. Okay, I'm not going to cut that anymore. I do want to mention, when you're printing on your paper, always check borderless printing. Because if you don't, then some part of the template would be cut. I'll show you a sample. So I wasn't able to check the borderless printing, and if you see here, it's kind of cut. Yeah, there you go. Always check if you have a setting that is borderless printing, always check that. And also always check print in actual size, or else it's gonna shrink a bit. And you might be surprised. It's not 18 inches, just because, you didn't print the actual size. Alright, so this is one sample. Cut the rest of your paper, but I just want to reiterate more on you don't have to print on every paper. So the best example would be here, petal 3. For this flower, for this version, we will be needing 12 pieces. And as I've mentioned, I usually cut by 4. So basically, you just need to print in 3 sheets because 3 times 4 equals 12. So the count for our components, 14, 4, 4, and then 12 for our petal 3. So with petal 1, you can print 3 to 4 pieces, and then for this one, you can print 1 piece each since you only need 4 pieces each for this too. And then, as I've mentioned, you can print 3 pieces for the petal 3. So just go ahead and continue cutting your components. Once you're done cutting all of your components, then it's time to add some curls. We are definitely going to add curls at the side edges of our petals 2 and 3. For our petal 1, just get 2 pieces out of the 14, and that's the pieces that we are going to add curls to the sides to. This bunch, you can get a wooden rod or something cylindrical that is like thick like this, and then we are just going to curl it like this. Actually, even without the rod, you can just like curl it like this. So that works too. This is done. With this one, you can get pens or markers. For this one, I would use something with a smaller diameter and just curl the sides like this. And as you've seen, you can do it multiple sheets at a time. Do the same for the rest of the petals. I usually curl 4 sheets at a time. You can do 3 sheets at a time, most especially if your cardstock is thicker. For petal 3, you might want to do something with a larger diameter like this. Once you are done prepping your petals, then we are going to start our paper rose. So let's set the petals 2 and 3 aside for now, and let us work on forming our bud. First things first, we are going to form a cross. So something like this, and we will be needing 3 pieces of this. Do the procedure that we are going to do for the rest of your petals, excluding these 2 petals. So I made this tight since this will be like our first layer, or this will form the bud first. The other 2, this can be a bit loose. Once you are done with the crosses, let us now form our bud. Have your scissors nearby or handy, just because we are going to cut the corners as we go. So let us form the bud. We are going to start by putting these 2 together like this, as if they are hugging. So one side goes inside, the other side from the petal, like parallel or across to it, goes inside as well. So like this. And once they are snug, it's time to attach. Now this 2 closes in. This is the part where we can cut the corners like this. Yes. Let's get our second set. Put glue here. Attach it in the center. And where we last finished off, this with the seam, This is the part that we are going to fold in next. We are going to go more loose with these succeeding petals or pairs, just because we kind of started like really tight with a bud. So we're going to be a bit more loose with this. Same procedure. Now we'll be a bit more loose. And now this too, we are going to attach where we last finished off, which is here. So it will go like this. So here's our bud. Now we are going to continue with our petal 2A. Petal 2A will be the shorter of the petal 2s. Okay, so here's the thing. The printer lines will tend to show up like this. It's kind of hard to avoid like having the printer lines. What I do suggest is the printer lines should go like at the back or like at the bottom. Like for example, I have prepped this where the printer lines will show. So I will just, fold it the other way around. So that when I like put it like this, the printer lines will be at the bottom or like at the other side. So that's our tip for the printer lines. Now, I am just kind of used of like positioning petal 2A where when I, assemble it like this, the height should be like in line with a bud. So the reason for this is when I am assembling like these roses for walls, when I keep them, I tend to like stack them together. And if this is like taller than the bud, there's a tendency for this, petals to like be squished down. So that's the only reason why I keep it that way. I also mentioned this on our other paper rose tutorial. It's up to you. If you're not going to stack them together, then this petal being a bit taller than the bud is fine. But for me, I'm just going to keep it like in line with the bud. So let's do that. There's a big chance where the corners will be like this, so just cut them. Okay, once we are done with the 2A, which is the shorter one, now it's time for the 2B, which is the slightly taller or longer one in height. Now, these ones will go here in between, not here, but rather here in between the two petals. And you will later see the reason why we have a slit over here. But for now, let us attach it here in the, middle. So I'm gonna push it a bit, inside, or like a bit in, like this. And the reason that we have a slit over here is that so we can easily fold it like this, or so that we can easily close it. So like that, and let's just go ahead and attach the rest. Now, we are going to attach our petal 3s, which, similar to the petal 2B, it will just go like in between here. So just like that, like 4s, 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 and 4s. Now we're going to continue with our second to the last layer. And now we have our last layer. So we're just going to add it like here. Yay! Now we are done with our rose. So here's a tip. If there's like, you know, a petal that's kind of protruding or is kind of up, like for example, I feel like this is kind of like, you know, a bit higher or, you know, a bit just like off. So you can trim it. You can cut like a bit. So I'll just give you a sample. Though honestly, I feel that it's okay. I mean, again, nothing in nature is perfect, but if you just want to trim it, then you can do it, you know, like this. Just in case you want to trim something. I just meant that, you know, you can absolutely do that. Once you are done with this, well, you have two options. If you are doing this for a wall or, you know, a wall decor, then you're actually done. You know, you can just put like a carton base right here. But if you're gonna do it for a freestanding or like, you know, the freestanding flower, then we are going to add like, you know, the sepal portion of the flower. Let us start prepping the sepal or like the back part of our flower. So never mind this line, it's just that when I was printing my petal 3, I wasn't able to like click, you know, print like in the actual size. So this is actually like smaller. That's why I just printed like on the other side. This will go at the back anyway, so you know, it won't really matter. So we're going to measure like the back. So more or less, I'll do like 3.5 by 3.5. PVC pipe. You can also use a cutter or like a box cutter, but I don't have my cutter with me here, so I'm just going to use my scissors. Like this. So in the previous or in like the first paper rose tutorial, I added, you know, like layers of paper boards here. You can do that, but for this one I want it quick and easy, so I'll just do this. I'll just double down or double up the hot glue here, but we can go ahead and add the hot glue here and then just add the hot glue here, here. This one, so what we're going to do is insert it here and then, you know, make it like a cone up until the circle or like the hole here is snug and fit with our pipe. So like this, and we're just going to attach it like this. Let's go ahead and prep our sepals or sepals. Alright, and the way I usually attach the sepals to the flower, top and bottom first. So let's do that. Like here first. I actually forgot one thing here. Oh my god. I just went ahead and, you know. So, I forgot to shorten this one. So, okay, this will be challenging, but I'll measure like half here, half an inch, so there. And then, so I am going to use a pipe cutter. This will be easier like on the side or on the edge of my table. Alright, so we've got this, and this should go like in here or here. We can insert it like here. We're going to attach this anyway. And we need to do it quickly or else we're not gonna be able to like push the coupling down. So here, the coupling cover is included. So it's like you're just gonna wrap like this strip or like the rectangular piece of cardstock around the coupling. So that's just it. I'm just recycling or reusing like couplings from my previous work. That's why. Okay, so let's continue. We are just going to continue like covering or like attaching the sepal or sepal. And on the sides, we are going to attach like 2 of them. So we're basically just gonna divide like this space into 2. We are done with our flower. Once you have finished making your large paper rose, it is time to create the stem. We have a separate video detailing how to create the stem or the bases. Just click the link in the upper right corner to check out this tutorial. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this video, so let me know what you think. Do leave a comment, opinion, suggestion, whatever is in your mind. Do comment it down below. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching.